wishes. I mean, you keep a clear conscience. I mean, you will always be recognized if you're one who has indeed established the fact that I am different from the others. Hard work indeed pays. Virtue really pays. Versatility really pays. And having a strong will, making strong pronouncements that will indeed not only be very vital to the present but shape the future is very, very acknowledgeable. All right, so I tell you that, little wonder, we have the likes of the CDS. I'm talking about Christopher Musa, General, retired though, by the way, being nominated by the same principal that relieved him of his duty whilst he was the CDS, and that is what we will be talking about this morning. But just before I get into that, because the Senate have not screened him yet, it's not been confirmed, let me let you in on the fact that right here in Nigeria, the Minister of Defense is higher in power and authority than the Chief of Defense Staff. So he was Chief of Defense Staff then. If he says my hands were tied, well, we can understand. But now he is, or he will be, we're hoping that he would be, the Minister of Defense, all right, or the Defense Minister, however you like to call it. And this time he is the Minister, if he was the Minister of Defense, as a civilian position, usually held by a politician, mostly, or usually. But this time, Mr. President says, no, I'm nominating someone who has shown audacious will in making some very strategic pronouncements that has ignited a spur of change in the fight against insecurity. But then it's calling on him to come back. But, well, such a minister is responsible for overseeing the country's defense policy and administration. Now, the minister is also, as a Minister of Defense, I'm just, intimating you on all of these, is a member of the President's cabinet and is accountable to the President and the National Assembly. So, the Chief of Defense Staff, on the other hand, is the highest ranking military officer in the Nigerian Armed Forces and serves as the principal military advisor to the President and the Minister of Defense. So you see, the Chief of Defense Staff gives reports to Mr. President as well as the Defense Minister. You see that now. So the Chief of Defense Staff is responsible for the operational command of the military and reports to the Minister of Defense and the President. Okay, you heard that. Now, in the current administration, General Christopher Musa, the former Chief of Defense Staff, has gotten a nomination now as a new Minister of Defense and is awaiting Senate's confirmation. So we are awaiting the Senate. And we want to know what the Senate has to say in this regard, right? I should also put it out there that we have seen where the State House press release by Onanuga, OON and CON, about how his principal, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has nominated General Christopher Gwabin Musa as the new Minister of Defense. Now, that letter was sent to the President, to the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio. President Tinubu conveyed General Musa's nomination as a successor to Alhaji Mohammed Badaru Abubakar, who resigned on Monday. So General Musa, who's 58, on December 25, is a distinguished soldier who served as the Chief of Defense Staff from 2023 until October of 2025. Now, he had won the Colin Powell Award for soldiering in 2012. Now, he was born in Sokoto in 1967. He received his primary and secondary education there before attending the College of Advanced Studies in Zaria. And now he graduated in 1986 and enrolled at the Nigerian Defense Academy the same year, earning a Bachelor of Science degree upon graduation in 1991. Okay. Well, he was commissioned into the Nigerian Army as a second lieutenant or lieutenant in 1991 and has since then been a distinguished or had a distinguished career. His appointments include General Staff Officer 1, Training Operations at HQ 81 Division, Commanding Officer 73 Battalion, Assistant Director Operational Requirements, Department of Army Policy and Plans, and Infantry Representative Member, Training Team, HQ Nigeria Army Armor Corps. right? In 2019, he served as Deputy Chief of Staff, Training Operations, Headquarters Infantry Center, and Corps Commander, or Commander Sector 3 Operation Lafayette Dole. Oh, he was, okay. And Commander Sector 3 Multinational Joint Task Force in the Lake Chad region. Now, in 2021, General Musa was appointed Theater Commander, Operation Hadinkai. He later became Commander of the Nigerian Army Infantry Corps before being appointed Chief of Defense Staff by President Tinubu in 2023. So, in the letter to the Senate now, President Tinubu is expressing confidence in General Musa's ability to lead the Ministry of Defense and further strengthen Nigeria's security architecture. And this is signed by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga. Right? This was a state release right there, December 2 of 2025. And these are the type of sterling qualities that we want to be hearing about somebody who is around peg in a round hole. Yes, is what we want to hear. Nigerians are really gladdened about this. But then it doesn't really stop there. It doesn't stop there because there is a need for us to also look into these matters. Recall that in November of 2023, Musa was appointed as Chief of Defense Staff by President Tinubu. It was overseeing integrated operations across all branches of the armed forces. His nomination as Defense Minister is seen as a strategic move to strengthen Nigeria's security architecture. So, we have been faced with quite a number of security challenges. I mean, Boko Haram insurgency, banditry, kidnapping, all of it, terrorism, that's what it is called. The nomination of Musa as defense minister is expected to boost the country's efforts to addressing these concerns, or security concerns if you like. Now recall that in 2015, Nigeria launched a military operation to combat Boko Haram. That's right, and which has resulted in significant progress in reducing the group's activities. All right, so as much as we are pleased with this nomination, I mean, there are some fears and concerns and expectations. And these are what we'll be looking into as we go conversational in the discourse this morning. Now, if it was so good to be the Minister of Defense, why was he relieved as the Chief of Defense Staff? Some questions like that, very critical, don't you think? Yeah, if he was so good, if you knew he had all these values, why was he relieved in the first place? And when the reshuffling came, and one person from his sets still remained and was reshuffled to another office, another chiefly office, why wasn't he retained? It was also at that period that we caught wind of a, so to speak, non-existent coup, because the federal government said, we don't know we don't know. Was there a coup? We don't know. I mean, I don't know. Nobody's actually admitting to it now. But we learned from credible sources that something like that was conspired, but it didn't quite aspire. It didn't find bearing. And some persons being arrested. However, the military had come out to telling us, oh no, it's just routine check. It's just what we do to cleanse ourselves and all of that. And this is what we say about information. When information is being hoarded. When you hold it back and you think it won't leak, it will. And when it does leak and you're shocked, in trying to repair it, you bring propaganda into it, and you tell us all sorts of narratives. Many times they say we're just using it to calm the storm. But can you always calm the storm? There is a storm that is coming. It is coming. It is imminent. And that's why we're seeing a shake-up. President Donald Trump of the United States made a threat, a decisive threat, with political world-class will, if I'm going to put it that way. And borrowing from the expression of Mr. President when he put out the highest red alert, mirroring into Nigeria, declaring insecurity as a state of emergency. That was the same way that President Donald Trump looked into Nigeria and said, you know what? Enough is enough. This has to stop. Have you even considered that should Nigeria even break? Should anything happen to this country? Do you know the refugees that will spread up? It will be a world concern. No, I'm serious. Have you even thought about it? So for some of y'all who'll be asking and saying, what is the interest of these world powers? Because I can tell you for sure, based on credible information on strong authority, that it's not just the US, Russia, and the likes, China. They are interested in Nigeria. Should there be a crisis, which I really don't want to see? I don't want it. You should not even pray for it. Should there be chaos? And it has come to the place of Nigerians being refugees. Ghana, Lagos alone will take over Ghana. Lagos, the population will take over Ghana. Togo and the rest, they might lose themselves. So when you think about it deeply, you see that there is only one option for Nigeria. We got to stay together and fix it. We've got to stay together and just fix it. Nobody's going to fix it for us. Except ourselves. So I'll just connect with my guest already, who's already standing by. Oops, didn't even know that. Well, he's in the person of Sir Benedict. I like to call him Olaliko Agunloye. He's an information professional, policy and public affairs analyst. Sir Benedict, welcome to the Prog Show this morning.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning, Sir Benedict. Feels good to hear your voice this morning. Sir Benedict, so much has been going on already. I mean, we're seeing the nomination of the ex-CDS. General Christopher Musa, retired, nominated by the number one citizen of Nigeria, Mr. President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to occupy a civilian position as the defense minister or minister of defense, which, of course, in terms of hierarchy, is higher than even the chief of defense staff. I mean, what do you make of all of this? I want you to spread your thoughts on a spreadsheet and let us have some understanding in this regard.
Well, basically, I would say that his nomination and if eventually appointed is a great improvement over the last dispensation where the minister that resigned, that Governor Badaru, had operated. Now, when you come to his person, and this is what, of course, it's a general thing you want to say about him. You see, you can do your best and still fail, but you cannot do the right thing and not rise. So we might not say we didn't have the best in security in his 2 years as the chief of defense staff, but we can also not question his competence. We cannot question his capacity. If certain things didn't work, it was not because Christopher Musa was not doing his best. And so I see it that the rise or the elevation that has come to him is based on the fact that both the people he served and those who are observers from outside considered it. That's why he was CGS and why he was holding all the other positions he held in the past.
Yeah.
He has really done his best and has done what is right. Now, how do we position that with our current level of insecurity? Like I said, it's a better choice, a much better choice than Badaru. And I will not say it's a round peg in a round hole, but rather a square peg in a square hole. Okay. When you put a round peg in a round hole, you can turn it around the way you like. That's the truth. But when you put a square peg in a square hole, it becomes rigid and firm enough that you can't roll it. But it should be there to hold the standard and do the job.
All right.
So in terms of experience, we will say that CG Musa has gotten all the required training. He has commanded training. He has participated in policy. He has been involved in coordination. And of course, we can say that he is not a partisan person. So up until this point, I'm not sure he has affiliated with any political party, or have we seen him in any political group or running a political foundation. So his neutrality, I think, will also count in addition to his experience to ensure that he does the job well.
Right.
In terms of what is needed for that office, I think that you can trust him for strategic leadership. You can trust him for proper coordination because he has seen it all with what is operational on the field. You can also trust him not to micromanage in the area of command and control because he knew the resilience and what is required on those jobs. He will most likely allow the people to do their job the way it should be done. And because he has worn the shoes at the various levels of command position, both within the infantry, within the army as a whole, and of course at the headquarters, and even becoming the CGS. So you expect him to come on board with comprehensive knowledge of what needed to be done and what should be done, as well as the empathy that is required to ensure that the people on the job get the right support.
Right. Well, that being said, have you also considered the fact that CDS, Chief of Defense Staff, is not the same as Minister of Defense or Defense Minister, if you like? I mean, there's so much responsibility, so much expectations of him in that role. And quite a number of persons are saying that he might, in the end, be embroiled in the entire political saga, that has embroiled the insecurity in the country. Well, what do you think about that? Because it's so much, it could be overwhelming in that regard.
You see, he left the CGS office less than 2 months ago. Now, and I'm sure that you know that by our procedures, how we arrive at that, I can't explain. The Minister of State is possibly responsible for coordinating the Navy and the tri-service institution.
Okay.
While the Minister is responsible for the Army and the Air Force. Right? Now, he as the CGS had interacted variously with the 3 commands. And that tells you clearly that he has a picture. He's coming in with a mental picture of what is obtainable on the field and what needed to be done.
Okay.
Now, like I said, he should know enough that he needs to stay clear of micromanaging. Allow the various commands to empower them to do their job the way it should be done. You don't have to necessarily dictate to them. And of course, we need as much as possible, the president will need to ensure that the politicians do not encover him with procurement politics and needless things. It's a time that we should allow the Ministry of Defense to run as a professional organization and be as professional as possible. I think we have an opportunity now to have somebody in charge with the right knowledge and the right experience. And of course, from him, I would also expect him to guide the service chief and the various councils that he will likely share to ensure that recruitment, posting, and appointment within the military going forward is done on need and merit as against cliche and brother and what do you call it now, unnecessary attachment. We need people to be on the front who did not come there with baggage. No governor should be telling you, if not for me, you will not be appointed. And if that comes, it means that on their own merit, when you deploy the men, they will go out and do the job and get the result for the nation. We must keep the politicians away from interfering with the processes and procedures of what goes on in the military. If we are in a normal state and there is peace everywhere, perhaps we say politicians own government and governance and they should do what they like. But right now, we are almost like in a state of war. And so for that reason, we should allow the man who have understanding of the terrain, whether it is the Lake Chad region, the Plateau, the Northwest, the Northeast, he's had opportunity to interact, even in the South. And so politicians should lead the defense system of Nigeria out of their politics and allow him to do his job.
All right, leave it and allow him to do his job. Well, I'll just open the phone lines. Let's have family members add their voice in the discourse this morning. Do you have some considerations, some concerns about the nomination of the ex-CDS, General Christopher Musa, retired, nominated into the position of Minister of Defense? Hit us up. Let us know your thoughts in this political discourse program. 0907 353 0044. The other number is 0909-705-4450. That is the WhatsApp portal number. Just send your WhatsApp message only to it, right? But let's stick with the number 0907-353-0044. Across social media platforms, we have a strong presence, Facebook and YouTube especially. We are hosting a live television right there. Just get on there, watch, be sure to comment, and be part of the conversation this morning. Hello, good morning. Hello. Good morning.
Hello?
Yes, good morning. Is this Moses?
Good morning, UD.
Oh, Moses, welcome
Yeah,
aboard.
this is Moses.
Yeah, talk to us. Go ahead.
I want to appreciate your guest for that added contribution he has made towards the new army something. But the issue is, UD, the position is the high position that Nigerians are looking onto him. You should come. Your guest made one powerful statement, which that statement is valid, that politicians should just off their hands from this issue to allow this man to work.
Right.
You know, this political interference and this religion interference is not only politicians alone, but also religion sectors. You get a point? So if really this issue of insecurity should be fought or should bring an end to this nonsense that we are going on, the issue is religions should support, all religion leaders pray and support this man. Then the politicians should off their hands, allow this man to work. No any interference. Because according to record, this man did well. I think that was why he was reappointed to this very high or nominated for appointment. So we are praying for him. Did you know why?
Why? Tell
If
me.
there is anything the whole Nigerians should talk of now to eliminate from this nation is what? Is insecurity. And also, the man in question should make sure that all the sponsorers, I repeat, sponsorers without fear or favor, he should fish them out. Because if the sponsorers, both external and internal, are not, because Nigerians have been crying, we want to know these people. Pass instant judgment. If it's execution, do it. Many lives have gone, UD. So the sponsorers are the keynote to this insecurity in our nation. The sponsorers.
No, sponsors.
So
Okay.
not these boys in this bush. These boys in this bush, they are operating under unseen people who encourage and empower them. So we are praying for him. These few days we will see more results.
Okay.
Thank you for the guest. Your guest really made a valid contribution.
Thank you.
Let the politician off their hands.
Off your hands.
And allow this man to work. Thank you.
Right.
God bless.
Appreciate Moses right there, all the way from Suleja, saying, you know what, politicians, off your hands, off your hands. It's not going to be a tea party anymore. And that's the part. That's the parts that really worries me, Sir Benedict, especially when you're looking into his confirmation. I mean, as much as quite a number of people have said that or believe that the Senate would not refuse Mr. President's nomination, it is also no news the fact that some of the sponsors of these insecurity and banditry and terrorism, going on in Nigeria are still within their ranks as politicians. And it brings to concern whether his nomination may not see fruition. Are you concerned about that? Because there's something that the family members mentioned, Moses. He says, you know what? Politicians, wash your hands off. And he made mention of something that has to do with instant execution. to that effect. What do you think about this?
Well, like we said, politics are for politicians. Security is not politics and should not be politicized.
Right.
So to a large extent, I think that the president, who is the commander-in-chief, should ensure that there is enough free hand for the new defense minister, when inaugurated, to operate. And should do all he can. Because if actually he wants the nation saved and he wants his record right, and he wants history to be right with him, then he would have to deal with insecurity in the land. And I think that without proper management of the defense forces, it will be difficult for him to get any good result. Like we said, in the space of widespread insecurity, not many investors will want to bring in their money.
Right.
Not many genuine businessmen will want to come into the country to operate. Even the farms will not be there because a lot of people will be afraid to go out and do things on a large scale.
Sorry to
So when you put it at that rate, it behoves on the president to keep the politician at bay and allow whoever that the man is appointing in who he has reposed his trust and confidence to manage the defense system to do his job.
Now, I'm going to allow you to answer the second part of that question that borders around what if the Senate does not give him confirmation, but we have to go pay this bill, and when we do come back, you will share your thoughts on that as we get to hear from family members. Right now, let's go pay some bills. We'll be right back.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Power Homes and Shelters Limited, a real estate company. We be baba for properties. Our properties not your best.
Please listen to this important infomercial. It's Powell's time on radio. Abuja. Powell Homes and Shelters Limited has come with a vision of transforming housing through innovation, style and integrity. At Powell Homes and Shelters Limited, we deliver affordable luxury, comfort and reliability in real estate. We offer genuine lands, elegant homes, modern designs and flexible payment plans to make your dream home a reality. Visit us today and experience excellence you can trust. Our address is number 52, Suez Crescent, Abacha Estate, Wuse Zone 4, Abuja. You can call us on telephone number 081-510-20000 or 080-925-70000. The number to call us once again is 081-510-20000 or 080-926-70000. Now let's hear what your sister and veteran Nollywood actress Patience Ozoko, Mama G, has to say about this company.
My people, my name is Patience Ozoko, popularly known as Mama G. G for General. Do you want to buy genuine lands and other properties and need a brand you can trust? Think Powell Home and Shelters Limited. With a reputation built on honesty and reliability, we ensure your investment is secured. Our team of experts is dedicated to providing personalized service tailored to your needs. Join countless of satisfied customers who have found their dream properties with us. For inquiries, please call 0815 102 0000 or 0809 257 0000. We can get you property from any part of Nigeria. Think real estate, think Paul.
Thank you, Mama G, for that wonderful talk. Remember, our office is at number 52, Swiss Crescent, Abacha Estate, Wuse, Zone 4, Abuja. We also have branches in Enugu, Owerri, Oka, and Asaba, and Nairobi. Think real estate, think Powell.
Powell Homes and Shelters Limited, a real estate company. We be Baba for properties. Our properties not your best. Invest your money, create a better future. A real estate company. We be Baba for properties. Real estate. Our properties not your best. Powell Homes and Shelters Limited, a real estate company. We be Baba for property. Our priority is to satisfy our client to the best.
Things they happen for our community, eh?
Now I can recoup back all the money I have spent on this annoying family.
Hey, yeah. That woman own don't finish.
My dear, let's go and greet them, okay?
Hey! Join Media Coalition and Awareness to hold trafficking, MICAS, on I Wish I Knew radio drama and program every Saturday at 10 a.m. on Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. Join us to kick human trafficking out of our society. I Wish I Knew radio drama and program is brought to you by MICAS and funded by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Denmark.
Staying with us, they're still having a conversation right here and looking at the nomination of ex-CDS Christopher Musa General, retired, to fill in the position of the Defense Minister, Minister of Defense, as you like to call it, right there. And there's so much expectations of him. And beyond that, it does seem as though he's enjoying the backing of not just Nigerians now, even retired senior military officers. As at yesterday, they've described General Musa as a perfect fit with the experience, temperament, the vision, especially to drive sweeping reforms. That's how they put it. Sweeping reforms in the armed forces, as well as deliver decisive responses to insecurity. Now, in separate interviews, though, former Deputy of Defense Information (DDI) Major General Chris Olukolade, who's also retired, former Multinational Joint Task Force Commander Major General Gadzama Ali, retired, and immediate past Chief of Defense Civil Military Relations CDCMR Rear Admiral Olusanya Bankole, retired. They all expressed confidence that Musa's appointment signaled stronger coordination, better welfare for troops, and more effective interagency collaboration. Well, we're still taking your calls, though. Call us up and let us know what you think about his nomination, what you also have as expectations for Nigeria. What do you see in the near future? Should he be confirmed as the defense minister? 0907 353 0044 is the number you should stick to. 0907 353 0044. See a message right here is coming from a dear friend and brother. I believe it's Yusuf from Wuse too. That's right, he is. It says, good morning, UD and your guest. Good morning. The nomination of Christopher Musa for the position of defense minister is a good one, but my thinking is that the nomination is more of a desire to get him into the fold of APC because of his overwhelming popularity and perceived political value. It is a case of let's grab him first before other poachers think in that direction. To me, the success of the fight against insurgency lies squarely with the president's will to fight it. The minister's responsibilities are just to provide guidance on policy formulation and implementation. He is to oversight, parastatals under him, to ensure their operations align with the president's directive. He's also to advise the president and participate and present memos at the Federal Executive Council meetings. The issue is that the president is not obliged to take advice from his ministers. We've seen instances where presidents boycott ministers and deal directly with heads of parastatals. As a matter of fact, the minister's tenure is not secured because he can be fired at any moment, as we saw in the recent past. I pray the president will tap into his wealth of Christopher Musa's experience to inject the desired vigor in the fight against insecurity in our dear country. He says, have a nice day. Taking this call now. Hello, good morning. Hello?
Presently.
All right. Talk to us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The nomination of General Musa is good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's very good, yes. Pending his confirmation.
Yeah.
Then the advice I have for him, General Musa, is to make sure he completely rejects the Defense Intelligence Agency and the Directorate of Military Intelligence. If he rejects them without the saboteurs, they have very treacherous saboteurs that are not helping in fighting insecurity in the country. I repeat, very treacherous saboteurs. If not, a brigadier general wouldn't have been killed in the battlefield, just like a chicken. Okay, once he does that and weeds out the people that we are infused into the military, I believe fighting in this insurgency, Boko Haram, Fulani terrorists will be a thing of the past.
Right.
Let's look at axis, Kogi State, Kogi Enugu State axis. Okay? If he does that, I believe this issue of insecurity will surely end. And again is this. I advise President Tinubu to watch out saboteurs within his government. I didn't vote him 2023 and I'll stay not voting. That does not mean I hate him. I pity the poor man. General Musa should learn from what happened. It is alleged because he ordered soldiers to confront the terrorists without waiting for others. It's an underlying statement. Now he should act on that. Remember that I called on this station to tell the president that he needs to remove 2 people from his security defense team for the country to stand. One is gone, it remains another one. And the ones that were removed should be placed under strict security watch. The Minister for State, Matawale, I still don't know what he's doing there. I believe it's a little time he will go. Thank you very much.
All right, appreciate that one, Chimezie, for your thoughts. Right, but let's get back with our guest right now. Sir Benedict, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Right, you heard what the family members are saying now, and there was a question that I have asked: what if his nomination does not pull through? What if it's not indeed confirmed?
Well,
and, what do you
now when you come to the question of if his nomination does not sail through in the Senate,
yes,
in my own word, I would declare the Senate the enemy of the Nigerian nation.
Okay.
Whoever opposes his nomination and the time and dimension that we are in, based on all the available evidences for now, I will consider such an individual an enemy of the state, a promoter of insecurity, and a beneficiary of the bloods of Nigerians that are being shed. That's my personal view.
Okay.
If they oppose the nomination.
All right. Another point is the fact that Chimezie, a family member, is saying that, look, rejig the entire, system. Rejig the entire system. Pay attention to the people who are the helms of affairs and all of that. And there's also the part where Nigerians are trying to take him up, saying that, look, one time you allegedly said you were going to build a wall between Nigeria and Niger, and this should be one of the things that you should do at this point in time for us to indeed say you know what you're doing. I mean, what do you think that could be his first point of call as soon as he's should he be confirmed as the defense minister?
Of course, once it's confirmed, like I said, there should be no micromanaging.
Okay.
Somebody mentioned that soldiers should be able to go out and fight the terrorists without having their hands tied. Which is, when you give people assignments, let them have the full control to do the job and give you the report. Not that they need to ask the headquarters, should we respond to an attack or not respond? The commander who is on ground has been trained sufficiently before you give him that command. And so I will be looking at him having been on the spot over time to know that micromanaging the field is not right. But give people the freedom, the chance, appoint based on credibility and capability, and then let them go and do their job and face the consequences if there are issues thereafter. Of course, for the wall, some are saying building a wall between Nigeria and Niger will be against free trade. I don't agree. It is not against free trade because you are talking about all manners of illegal entry points. A wall or something that at least that will create the right entry and exit point. It's not saying deny people from entering or exiting, but it's saying let's reduce the porosity of the border. Now, that will be expensive. If we have a budget or a low-cost approach to ensuring that it is done, if it starts in this regime, I don't think that it is wrong. It should be the right thing to do over time. There are nations with bigger borders than ours. India and Pakistan used to be the same nation, and I think on some part of their boundaries, they have some form of walls or barriers. The same go for between, I think, India and China, and some of them in those mountainous, high mountain regions. So having some form of demarcation, I think, will not be out of place. Yes, we know there are people in Nigeria with cousins in Niger. There are people in Nigeria with cousins in Benin Republic. There are Nigerians with cousins in Cameroon. But where the need be, let them do the exchange with their cousins over the permitted entry point. Illegal entry points cannot continue to be condoned because that increases the exposure, the availability of weapons, and the availability of men for illegal operators. So I think that should be that. But like I said, he's been around since 1986, so he's seen all manners of recruitment done into the military up till now. And we know some of us feel that some of the recruitments are not right, some of the postings are not right, some of possibly even the deployment and training are not totally done out of merit. He has seen it all. So he's in a better position as an insider or a former insider to know better than the rest of us.
Right.
And so to a large extent, we should trust his capacity to be able to handle the situation with the officers and men of the Nigerian armed forces. We should trust him, just like the president has trusted him, and then see him do his result. And if we have information that would help him, such information should be put in the right place. As to reordering the system, I think that he has enough experience, he has enough knowledge to do that because he's seen it all from being a cadet till he became a general.
So what are you saying Nigerians should expect now in view of, it's a nomination as well as, what should be our hard call, in view of...
We should expect that the Senate will be patriotic enough to approve his appointment as quickly as possible.
Right.
And we look forward to seeing him coming up to the job with the expectation of the people and the confidence and the trust reposed in him. So that at least by Christmas, we would have, by his birthday on December 25, he should be giving us a gift that people can sleep on that Christmas day with their eyes closed.
Right. Now,
that's my expectation.
Just before you let you go, there's been some speculation from some quarters that Nigeria is playing to a script, a foreign script. In fact, the United States of America has been fingered as the very strong reason for some of these rejigging and all of these changes and all of that. Do you agree with that? And do you think it portends any sort of security risk for the country?
Well, for me, I am less bothered about what the US or anybody does or did not do. But I think that the life of every Nigerian is important, and what we need to do to ensure that the nation is safe should be done. I'm less concerned about who is pushing or who is not pushing anything. So far, we see the results, right? Mm-hmm. And the nation becomes safer, and life becomes normal, and people can return to their activity. I think it is okay by me.
Right,
it's okay by me to see the nation get better, to see us live more secured, to see people travel across the nation as fun that it used to be. Traveling in Nigeria used to be fun, not tension. But now you see a lot of worry, you see a lot of anxiety because people are afraid that they can be kidnapped or this. They are even no longer afraid of armed robbery now. It's now kidnapping. So sad.
So sad. Well, I'm just going to let my thoughts leave with your final statement right there that says, you know what, I don't care about who is pulling what strings. As long as Nigerians are safe, I'm okay. All right? I'm okay too as well. Thank you so much, Sir Benedict, for adding your voice in the discourse this morning. We appreciate it. Right, and yes to you too for being a part of it. I mean, Yusuf and every other family member, Chimezia and the rest, thank you far too kind. I mean, seems like there's light at the end of the tunnel, and it does seem as though the light is very close to us, and we might be coming out of the tunnel in a very short bit. We're keeping our fingers crossed right there, and also hoping against hope that this will not take us 5 or 10 steps backward, but will allow us to see at least some, even if it's half step or 2 steps or 10 steps forward, because this is what we pray for. Security is the sole responsibility of the government. However, you too have a role to play.